Yes, sir. What up, Vegas? Welcome back to the Cash Market Authority Report, your monthly deep dive into what's actually happening in Las Vegas real estate. All right, my name is Chris Cash with Realty One Group, and every month I break down the numbers, the trends, and what it all means for you, whether you are thinking about buying, selling, or just staying informed, right? Let's get right into it, all right? So here's what everyone's asking me this month, all right? Chris, is the Las Vegas market crashing? Look, I'm seeing panic posts on social media, people saying prices are dropping, inventory is exploding. It's '08 all over again. So let me go ahead and cut through the noise and go ahead and give you the real answer using actual data, not clickbait, not fear mongering, just the numbers and what they actually mean. All right. So by the end of this report, you are going to know exactly where the Las Vegas market is right now, whether it's in favor of buyers or sellers, and what you can do about it. Okay. About making your next move. Sure. Why not? Okay. Make sure this is all looking good. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the big picture. What is happening in the Las Vegas real estate market right now? Okay. All right, so as of January 2026, the median home price for a single family home in Las Vegas is $470K. That's flat compared to December 2025, and it's down 3.1% compared to January 2025. For condos and townhomes, the median is around $283K, down 3.5%, well below the October numbers. So what does that mean? First, let's be clear about prices. They're not crashing, okay? 3% year over year. That's a normal decline, okay? This is what a balanced market looks like. So if you bought a home in Las Vegas 5 years ago, you're still sitting on equity. If you bought at the peak of 2022, you might be flat or slightly down, but you're not underwater unless you bought with zero down and made no payments, okay? So no, this is not '08. This is a market coming back to earth after unsustainable run, okay? Next up, we're gonna talk about days on the market. This tells us how fast homes are actually moving and selling, okay? Right now, the average home in Las Vegas is sitting on the market for 74 days. That is up 20% from last year. So what does that mean, okay? Homes are taking longer to sell, which tells me buyers are being more selective. They're not rushing into a decision. They're not, they're comparing the homes. They're negotiating. They're walking away if the price or condition isn't right. So for sellers, this means you can't just throw your home up on the market and expect it to sell in a week like it did in 2021. You need to price it right. Presentation matters, and maybe a little bit of patience. So now let's go ahead and talk about inventory. How many homes are actually for sale right now? As of January 2026, there are 6,000 plus active listings in the Las Vegas Valley. That is up 25% from last year. And for single family homes specifically, we got 6,100 active listings without offers, up 18% year over year. What do those numbers mean, Chris? Okay, we have way more homes for buyers to choose from than we did last year. That's good news for buyers. You got options. You're not competing against 10 other people for every house, okay? But for sellers, this means you are competing against 6,000 other listings. That's why pricing, photos, and marketing matter the most. Here are the key metrics. Months of supply. This tells us how long it would take to sell at the current inventory and the current pace of sales. Right now, we're at about 4 to 5 months of supply. Last year, this time, we were at 3.5 months. So what does that mean? Anything under 3 months is a seller's market. 3 to 6 months is a balanced market. Over 6 months is a buyer's market. So we are in balanced territory, tipping slightly towards the buyers. Neither side has a massive advantage, but it's all really about execution. Okay, so let me give you a snapshot of what happened the week of February 12 to 18, 2026. Active listings. We have 6,046 active listings. Homes sold that week, 371. Homes under contract, 543. New listings that week, 988. Two, average weekly sales price, $638K. And here's an interesting stat. Sellers are receiving about 99% of list price on average right now. What does that mean? There's not a ton of negotiation room, but there is some. Buyers can negotiate on price, closing costs, repairs, but you're not going to go ahead and have a seller drop $50K just because you asked them. All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, what everybody's asking about: interest rates. As of mid-February 2026, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is sitting at around 6% to 6.1%. That's down slightly from the 6.2% to the 6.5% we saw late last year. Okay, so what does that mean for buyers and sellers? For buyers, this means your payment is still elevated. A $470K home at 6% is going to cost you about $2,800 a month in principal and interest. Plus, we're going to talk about taxes and insurance and HOA that you got to add on top of that too. That's why buyers are being more selective. They can't afford to overpay by $20K or $30K. For sellers, this means buyers are payment sensitive. They're running the numbers, they're comparing homes, and if your home is overpriced by even $15K, they're moving on to the next one because they have options. Now, here's the thing about waiting for rates to drop. If the rates drop to 5%, great, your payment goes down, but so does everybody else's payment, and that means way more buyers are jumping back into the market, which means bidding wars, higher prices, and less negotiating power. So if you're waiting for the perfect rate, you might end up paying more for the house itself because of the competition and because everybody is jumping in. All right, section 3, I'm going to talk about specifically about the Southwest Las Vegas because that's where I'm from. Let's zoom to Southwest Las Vegas, specifically the areas where I work a lot: the Huntington Cove area, Skyline Ridge, and the 89178 area code. Okay, in Southwest Vegas, here's what I'm seeing on the ground floor. Medium home price still hovering around the $470K mark for single family homes, give or take, depending on the specific neighborhood. Days on the market, homes in Huntington Cove and Skyline Ridge are still sitting for about 70 to 90 days on average right now. That's longer than the Valley's average of 74 days, which tells me buyers in this price range, the price range is $450K to $600K, are being selective. What's selling fast? The homes that are moving in under 30 days are the ones with a newer HVAC system. This is Vegas. AC matters. Updated kitchens and bathrooms, move-in ready conditions. Buyers don't want a project right now. They want to move in. Competitive pricing, not $20K over market, hoping for a miracle. Great photos. This is a non-negotiable. You got to have great photos, great marketing. So what is sitting? The homes that are sitting for 60 to 90 days, even 100 plus days, are overpriced by 20 to 30K. They need updates and repairs. They have bad photos, no professional staging, listed by agents who aren't even marketing it aggressively. Here is what I'm hearing from buyers and sellers in the Southwest right now. Buyers are looking for homes under $550K. That's the affordable ceiling for most people. Single story layouts, especially for retirees and downsizers, those are big. Newer builds, we're talking about 2015 or newer if possible. Lower HOA fees. Nobody wants to pay $200 plus a month on top of their mortgage, right? Sellers are worried about, will my home actually sell? Sellers are worried about, what if I sell and can't find something to buy? Or should I wait for spring or summer? And I am going to address those concerns in just a minute. Now let's talk about what it actually means and what you should be doing about it. If you are thinking about selling your home in Las Vegas, whether that's now or the next 6 to 12 months, here's what I want you to know. The market is not crashing. Prices are down 3% year over year. That's a normal correction, not a crash. So if you have equity, you're still in a good position to sell. But conditions are shifting toward buyers. With inventory up 25%, days on the market up 20%, and 18% of listings showing price reductions, buyers have more leverage than they did last year. That does not mean you can't sell. It means you need to be sharp. within listing your property. Pricing is everything. You cannot overprice your home in this market. Buyers are comparing every option. If you're 20K over market, they are moving on. Use real comps, not what your neighbor's home sold in 2022, not what Zillow says, but what buyers are actually paying for right now. Presentation matters more than ever. Professional photos are non-negotiable. Staging helps. Curb appeal matters. If your home looks tired or cluttered in the photos, buyers aren't even going to click on it. Marketing matters. Your agent needs to be running social media ads, doing open houses, following up with every buyer's agent, and giving you weekly updates. If they're not doing that, fire them and hire somebody who's going to actually put in the work to make your home move. Don't wait for the perfect time. A lot of sellers are waiting for spring or waiting for the rates to drop or waiting for whatever. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. If your life circumstances says it's time to sell, job change, family change, downsizing, upsiding, then it's time to sell. Don't let the market dictate your life. If you are thinking about buying in Las Vegas, number one, you have more leverage than you did last year. With inventory up and homes sitting longer, you can negotiate. Ask for closing costs, ask for repairs, walk away if the seller won't budge. There are 6,000 other homes to choose from, but don't lowball good homes. If a home is priced right, shows well, and is in a desirable neighborhood, you are still going to face competition. Don't lose out on a good home. Focus on payment, not just price. At 6% interest, your monthly payment is what really matters. Run the numbers on different price points and see what fits your budget. Don't wait for rates to drop. If rates drop to 5%, great, but you'll be competing against everyone else who is also waiting, and that means bidding wars and higher prices. Buy the home that fits your life and your budget. You can always refinance later if the rates drop. The big, huge questions. All right, let me go ahead and answer the 3 biggest questions I'm getting right now. Question number 1, is the Las Vegas market going to crash? Why do they keep asking me that? Okay, short answer, no. It's not going to crash. Here's the reason why. We don't have the conditions we had in 2008. Back then, we had subprime loans with no income verification, massive overbuilding, people buying homes they couldn't afford with adjustable rate mortgages, okay? Today, we have stricter lending standards. Buyers are actually qualified. They can actually afford it. Limited inventory. We are still undersupplied compared to demand, okay? Fixed rate mortgages. People aren't getting foreclosed on because they're rate adjusted. Could prices pull back another 3 to 5%? Sure. But a 2008 style crash, I don't see it. I really don't see it. With that being said, if you're trying to time the market, don't. Buy or sell based on your life, not on trying to predict the future, okay? Question number 2, should I wait for rates to drop before I buy? I've said this many times, and I've said this already, but let me say it again. Waiting for rates to drop means more competition from other buyers who are also waiting for rates to drop. So yes, your payment might be slightly lower with a 5% rate instead of a 6% rate, but the home itself might cost you 30 to 50K more. And if rates don't drop as much as you're hoping, or if they go up again, you just wasted a year of waiting. My advice, if you find the right home at the right price, buy it. Lock in that home that you want. You can always refinance later. All right, question number 3. Is now a good time to sell? Well, that really just depends on your situation. If your life circumstances says it's time to sell, like a job change, a family change, downsizing, upsizing, whatever, then yes, it's a good time to sell. The market is still active, homes are still selling, and if you price it right, present it well, and market it aggressively, you'll get the job done. But if you're just testing the waters to see what happens, then no, hold off. Because if you list your home overpriced with bad photos and no real plan, it's going to sit, and then you're just wasting time, money, and momentum. So if you are serious about selling, reach out to me. Let me show you what your home would sell for in today's market, what you would net after all the costs, and what your options are. Then we can make an informed decision. not a guess. All right. Before we wrap this video up, let me give you my prediction for the next 30 to 60 days. Here's what I think is going to happen in the Las Vegas market over the next month or two. Inventory is going to continue to climb. Interest rates are probably going to stay at the 6% range. Days on the market are going to stay a little bit elevated. Homes are going to take 60 to 90 days to sell on average unless they are priced aggressively and marketed well. And I think we are going to see more price reductions. Right now, 18% of listings have dropped their price. Bottom line, if you are a buyer, you've got the upper hand right now. Be patient, negotiate hard, and don't settle. And if you are a seller, you need to be realistic about pricing, aggressive about marketing, and patient about the timing. And if you are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect moment, you are going to be waiting for a while. Okay, the market doesn't wait for anybody. Real talk, true story. All right. So here's what I want you to do if you can do it so well. If you are thinking about selling your home in Las Vegas, reach out to me. Las Vegas is for sale. I will pull comps, comparable sales for your neighborhood, show you what your home is actually worth in today's market, not Zillow's guess, not what it was worth last year, but what buyers are actually paying right now. And I'll give you a clear game plan for your home to get sold. All right, no pressure, no obligation, just real numbers and real advice. If you're thinking about buying, same thing. Let me show you what's out there, what you can actually afford with today's rates, and what the whole process looks like. And look, I know the market feels confusing right now. Prices are down a little bit. Inventory is up. Rates are still elevated. Everyone's got an opinion. But here is the truth. The best moves you can make is to get informed. Know the numbers, know your options, and then make a decision based on your life, not what some random person on Instagram said. So if you want to stay informed, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Every month, I'm going to do this monthly cash authority report. You can find me on Instagram, Chriscash_Vegas, Chriscash.realtor, or just shoot me a text or email. Everything is in the description below. Thanks for watching. My name is Chris Cash, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.